Hello everyone, Scott J. Way from Crucible Custom Props here, Norfolk's Lab and all the forums. This is another Han Solo blaster, but this one is a live firing replica. Now this one in particular is the one that I built for the Jerry Miculek Shootout Lane TV show and his Jerry Miculek YouTube channel. Now this Brock, his son-in-law, is the one who commissioned me to do that build for the show and everything. On the show, I don't know if anybody's seen it. It came out on the Outdoor Channel. It aired a couple years ago in the springtime. And during the show, you kind of see that the story is that I built it kind of in an afternoon, but in reality, it took a couple days on site. And when I got there, I tried to come as prepared as possible. I brought a bunch of extra materials and things like that. We had some stuff from Dark Energy Creations to make it at the time, but there was a lot of challenges. One of the things was that Jerry Miculek used to be a machinist, and he had a large knee mill and a large lathe, which was great because there was no way otherwise to do some of the stuff that we did on the show. And that worked out really great. I brought some aluminum stock and some steel stock, and he had some steel barrel stock that we used. And I'll talk about that here in a little bit. But I really never got to talk in public about the build. But Brock had the gun, and he found the scope, and we had the Dark Energy Creations parts. The only problem was the Dark Energy Creations, Dave, didn't have any steel mounts or aluminum mounts. So, pause. Okay, guys, sorry, I'm back. Sorry for the awkward pause, but I wanted to get this to illustrate this point. So anyway, Dark Energy Creations, Dave, didn't have any aluminum or steel mounts at the time. All we had was the cast pewter mounts. It's a pewter alloy, I guess, but that's all we had for the time. There was nobody else making replica parts at that time, and that's pretty much what we had. So we went with what we had, and it got us by through the show and the YouTube channel. Well, actually, it got us through the show, and at the end of the show, it was completely destroyed. A couple months later, Dave sent us a special pewter mount with a dovetail, and this one right here, and a dovetail crossbar instead of the two that were screwed on. And we did the YouTube video with that one, which is this one right here. And as you can see, it did not hold up to recoil. And we didn't expect it to, but I didn't expect it to be this bad. I mean, look how warped it is and crazy. Shifted forward, the scope wouldn't sit anymore. It ripped the threads completely out of this center knob here. See if I can get that to focus again. And all it did was just kind of flop around. As you can see, even the dovetail got warped and stuff from the recoil. And this is pretty good comparison to show you guys. And I did this weathering on site. Whoops, sorry guys. I did this weathering on site by hand, looking at the pictures like I used to. And it's not bad. It's not bad. It's fairly close. But since then, I've moved to my stencil, which I put a lot of time in creating this stencil. In fact, in another video, I was just talking about it. The stencil is so detailed that the vinyl cutter printers that do this, they can print they can print and cut most of the details that are on there. But some of the stuff is too fine to even transfer over. So you still have to do some of the touches by hand. It's just really almost nearly impossible to transfer that stencil over 100%. But anyway, I didn't do too bad of a job hand scratching that weathering at the time. And that's really all I had to go with it. Well, we weren't prepared to do anything else other than that at the time. But this gun has been completely refurbished. So now we have a brand new Dark Energy's Creation steel CNC machined mount, brand new crossbar, brand new steel knobs, whereas originally we had aluminum knobs and the the sad cast pewter mount. So now let me talk about the build a little bit on the show. One of the interesting things is for my live fires, I've been creating steel spacers and brazing and silver soldering those on here, and that's exactly what we did on the show too. Now Jerry had some extra, might have been 22 caliber rifle barrel stock. So basically, we cut that down and made the spacers out of rifle barrel stock. I cut those on his lathe, and we brazed and silver soldered those over at the gunsmithing shop that's over there on their street, which is part of their family. And then I brought the stock to machine the booster adapter, and I did all the threading and stuff there on site. You can probably see it on the TV show. What we did at the time is I didn't have any templates for the mystery disc. This was one of the things that I just didn't have. And so we took the next best thing was a quarter, and I used a quarter to cut some masking tape to mask off the mystery disc at the time, and I got the placement a little bit off, and so I was never really happy with that, and I wanted to refurbish that anyway. Now Brock was selling this gun, and this is refurbished, so it's going to its new owner, but that was one of the things I was going to do anyway, as I really wanted to redo the gun and make it look like I really wanted it to make it look like. Because the show build was just kind of as best we could do at the time. So with what little resources we had. So anyway, this is completely redone. The whole bottom completely redone. Brand new steel mount, new accurate mystery disc placement, completely painted the lower the way it's supposed to be. Got all the scratches correct. Now the only thing I didn't scratch is the scope. Now the scope is a real Han Solo Wetzler. This is a 2 3/4X, but it's correct. It's got the correct knurling on the windage knob. See if I can get you to focus there. There we go. And I'm not going to scratch that up. Not screen accurate. That it's a piece of history right there. We're going to keep that the way it is. This one does right now. It does have a steel flash hider on it, but most of the live fire guns will not function properly with a steel flash hider. It's just too much weight for the action to overcome and cycle. So Brock's bringing or sending me the aluminum flash hider before I do the final test firings. I don't see why it wouldn't work exactly how it did on the show. It was 100% reliable, but I do need to test fire it and make sure everything's good, clean it and everything before I send it out. So that's one of the things. And this is a magnetic sight gribbly here. I did that at the time. It's exactly how it was on the show. Basically, recoil will probably still pop it off and make it fly someplace and you'll never find it again. So if you're firing it, you just take that off. And you can use this top knob to kind of sight. It's about the height of the original sight ramp was. So when you're sighting down, you can do just about like that and get it right. And it'll be pretty much on target. So anyway, by the way, just for everybody freaking out, it is clear. It's empty. I would never be handling a live weapon with ammunition in it on video or any place other than a range. But so that's it, guys. It's a pretty thing. It's accurate. Pretty stoked about it. Only thing that's sad is that it's going to go to someplace else, and I won't get to shoot it more than my test firings. But someone's going to enjoy it. Ash, I hope you enjoy it, and be safe. And that's it, guys. So there's the Jerry Miculek gun, completely redone. Ta-da!